go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.
Alright guys, so very exciting news that I got this week, and that is a new motorcycle that has grabbed my interest. And just based on the look of it, I automatically thought it was the best looking custom Harley-Davidson I have ever seen. Turns out it's actually a concept motorcycle that go into production, not from Harley-Davidson, but from a company called Buell Motorcycle Company that has partnered up with Roland Sands Designs, which is a US based company. And I'm extremely excited to hear that, because I feel like after seeing all the new announcements of different motorcycles coming from Harley-Davidson, it hasn't really grabbed my attention because they're basically the same bikes from last year, just with the new paint or a couple new accessories. However, when I saw this bike being announced and starting to look at its specs, my goodness, this is something that you should all look out for. I'm a little afraid about the price because it just looks like a very limited low production number that might just cater to the rich folks. But just from looking at it alone, I feel like this is the trajectory that Harley-Davidson Motorcycle Company should strive towards. Now, if you don't know the history about Eric Buell or the Buell Motorcycle Company, I'll link some of the descriptions and history below. But from the wave tops, basically Eric Buell, who was the founder of the Buell Motorcycle Company, started out as an engineer with Harley-Davidson back in like early 80s, and he was one of the key engineers that created the FXR, which, if you know anything about Harley-Davidson, FXR series was the bike that everybody wanted because it was a fine balance between performance and a cruiser. And if you look at current lineup from Softails to Dynas, the most popular bike, which is the Lowrider and Lowrider S, they all stem from the design of the original FXR. So when you're looking at this new bike that has been unveiled this week, is that it has a very similar look to the original FXR, but with a little modern touch to it. And I welcome that because, as you know from my previous review videos, I'm not so tied to the history of a motorcycle as long as it looks good, feels good, and runs well. And this Buell, I think, is gonna kick ass. Just based on the specs alone, it just sounds like a really amazing bike. The motorcycle is roughly 450 pounds currently. The lead designer did say at the launch that they are looking to reduce that weight load as they get closer to the launch date, which they're aiming for 2025. And with its 1190cc liquid cooled engine, it can produce up to 175 base horsepower. That is phenomenal. Just imagining that much raw power on a 450 pound cruiser, it's gonna be the new standard for a performance motorcycle. And just based on the look alone, it just looks like a bike that Harley-Davidson should be making. But it has a Buell tag on it. I don't really care what company makes this, as long as it's well built and well designed, I'm all for it. Now, as you can see from the launch concept of the motorcycle, which they're calling it right now, the 2025 Buell Super Cruiser. I'm not sure if they're going to keep that name or change it up once they get closer to the launch date of 2025. But everything looks very raw. Like, everything looks like a custom garage built motorcycle, which I am very attracted to right now. There's a small sound clip that shows this liquid cooled engine can sound and roar like a motherfucker compared to what you would get from, let's say, a Revolution Max Sportster. So here it is. Now, if you go to their website, you're not going to see too much specs or any description of what they have. All I can tell you right now is I am excited. The only thing I'm worried about is the price point. As I mentioned earlier, this type of bike, it just reminds me of something similar to the Arch motorcycles, which is a Keanu Reeves motorcycle brand. They're also a US built motorcycle company that costs like upwards to like $80,000 to $100,000 because they are made to order type of vehicles. I'm not sure if Buell's about to do the same for this, but I am going to be on the wait list to see more information, because if this bike is anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 US, it is going to sell like hotcakes, just because it gives you that performance, the look, and everything that you were hoping for from like a Lowrider S. And I think this bike's going to really give it to you. And additionally, I think this will actually draw more attention from the sport bike riders who have been looking for that one bike that's been promised to them as a performance cruiser that has the ability to go fast and be nimble, but yet have that comfortable ergonomics as a cruiser. So obviously I'm going to be closely following the news from the Buell Motorcycle Company here. They do have other lineups that are in like this naked and sport bike category. I believe they also have an off-road bike. I'm not too interested in those yet because it's just not the type of bike that I would be riding. But for this Super Cruiser, I'll be following closely, and any news that comes up from it, I will make sure that you guys are first to know with all the reference links below so you guys can do your own research on it as well. So if you're interested in this, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to click that like and subscribe. Ride safe, ride prepared, ride on.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit.